Okay, so here's the thing, right? Rant, right? Not vlog, rant. So back when I was in high school, we did this thing called the Maine Regional One Act Festival, and it was pretty much like it was just a weekend every year where a bunch of schools would get together and perform these short little 40-minute one-act plays, and they were really great. And my school has a tradition of always doing student-written plays, right? Well, one acts was the best thing ever. Like, if I could relive one moment of my high school career, it would be one acts forever. Like, that would just one acts forever. That would be great. But I'm not in high school anymore, so I'm not working on the one act play. But tonight was Fine Arts Night, so on Fine Arts Night, they, in addition to, like, you know, the band doing stuff and whatever, they show the play before the festival to, you know, the town. And I went to see it. And that was at significant risk to me, but I will explain that in a later video, and my grandmother isn't downstairs because I really don't want to explain this to her because it's kind of... Well, I've been trying to keep it a secret from her and my mom. But, so pretty much, I went to see it. And it was not worth it at all. It was the biggest load of shit ever. It gave a bad name to theater. I am very, very irritated at this. Do you know why? Because one acts is the best thing in my life. It's like, when I die and go to heaven, if going to heaven is something that happens, and we each have heavens tailored to our own personal needs, then you know what my heaven's gonna be? It's gonna be one acts all the time. And this play this year, they ruined it. They ruined the one acts with this play that was complete and utter shit. It was so bad. Alright, so here's the thing, right? It's supposed to be this set in this, like, you know, post-apocalyptic world where soda is some sort of bizarre illegal drug, like it gets you fucking jacked up and high and shit. And so it's illegal, right? And so it's really fucking confusing, and they just throw you into it, right, with this like fucking videos projected onto the screen, sort of like some Hunger Games style bullshit. And it's just, so they throw you into it, right? And then you meet the actors. You're not introduced to the actors, they're just there. Like, you're not introduced to the characters, you don't know their names, you don't know anything. And then it's like, halfway through, they start mentioning each other's names. It's like, oh, that's who that is? Oh, well, I wish I had known that before. And then, you know, like, 2 or 3 times there's just, like, you know, the stage will go dark, you know, for a scene change. And then apparently it's suddenly, like, you know, 2 or 3 or 15 years into the future with no explanation. Like, you know, maybe, you know, at least, you know, some sort of words projected on the screen, or like some sort of, you know, ominous, omnipotent voice saying many years later or something, instead of just jumping us in there, not explaining anything. We don't know what happened in those 15 years. Now people are in jail and everyone's really sad and not really high on caffeine because it's even more illegal now than it was before. Like, I don't know what happened. And then, so this chick, right, she's like in a jail cell, and then her lover, who, like, I guess they're lovers apparently, except they don't know it, is like in the cell next to her, and the only thing separating the two cells is this friggin', like, chain link fence. And then, right, but, you know, the chick starts, like, saying, like, their conversation, right, they can't see each other, they don't know where they are, but, you know, to the audience, like, that's really dumb. All that's separating them is a chain link fence. Alright, so then some lady pops in and, like, frees this girl, who then starts fucking drinking soda and eats chips. Like, where do you get this shit? And then she's miraculously free, I guess. She freed herself, or the random lady did, and then she leaves, right? And then friggin' the guy she was talking to, like, a couple minutes later, after talking to some evil overlord dude, who's... And the guy, right, I should mention, he's currently, and, you know, the girl who left, they are strapped in to these electric chairs, pretty much, yeah? But, you know, the guy, he just fucking jumps out of the chair, runs off. how'd you get out? Who untied you? What the actual fuck is happening? It makes no sense. And then like, as he's about to leave, his other friend, who I guess isn't his girlfriend, like, gets thrown in, and, as, like, a friend for him, and, like, that's what the bad guy said, and then he's like, he, like, goes up to his friend who's lying on the floor. He's like, I will avenge you, even though she's still alive, totally fine, and then he runs out. He leaves his friend lying on the floor and runs out, okay? He just jumps right out of his electric chair that he's strapped into, says a few, like, parting words to his friend who's lying on the floor, and runs. And then, you know what happens? She winds up getting into the electric chair and electrocuted. And then next scene, I swear to God, the very next scene, she's there. She's totally fine. She's disguised as an enemy. What the fuck? How did that even happen? And at the end of the play, doesn't get explained. You know what? That's not like some major thing that needs to be explained. Just fuck everything. Makes perfectly good sense. I'm yelling too much. But it's just... And then, alright, the set, right? It was just 2 chain link fences that roll around. Just some friggin' cardboard, wooden scaffolding with rags on it to look all, post-apocalyptic or whatever. And then this giant soda bottle, giant, glass Coca-Cola bottle made out of paper mache or some crap, separated into 4 pieces. That is all the set is, and these 4 pieces, move around, and everything moves around. But that's all it is for the set. It all moves around. It makes 0 sense whatsoever. So the set was awful, and then the lighting. I am a big theater guy. I'm going to college for theatrical lighting. The lighting was shit. And you know what pisses me off? The person who was in charge of the lighting, who I trained to run the lights, is my ex-girlfriend. Okay, now you may think, wow, that really sucks. But no, hold on, wait. The day before, I was hanging out with my friends, and one of them was an actor in the play, who mentioned that my ex-girlfriend kept missing her lighting cues, and she was terrible. So, I'm watching the lights, and everything's terrible. There's, nothing creative at all about the lighting. It's just complete shit. Only to find out, at the end, she wasn't even the one running it. The guy who's supposed to be running sound is running the lights, and some freshman's running the soundboard, because for some bizarre reason, she's not running the lights, probably because she doesn't know how to, because when I tried to teach her the lights before I graduated, she was always dicking around and not paying attention, and it's just so infuriating. It's like, they're taking the one thing I loved about that school, seeing as how the rest of it was complete and utter shit. And they're shitting all over it. It's a giant clusterfuck of stupidity, and it pisses me off so fucking much. Okay? I loved that theater. I loved the one acts. I loved everything about it. I will admit, I thought all the one acts that we did when I was in high school were pretty dumb. But this? No. This is complete and utter bullshit. It's very irritating. And it's just... If I was not as committed as I was to, getting a job in lighting, I would just completely quit theater right now. Because if that is what passes as a theatrical performance these days, I do not want any part in the theater business. Because that is not theater. That is intense stupidity. It doesn't make sense. There's no plot. There's no well-defined anything. I mean, how do they and it's not just because the actors were bad and the script was bad, and it's not because they're high school students, okay? You should see what the other schools put on at the One Act Festival. That is amazing. All of it is great. No, seriously, the script is pretty bad enough as it is. The concept in itself is pretty dumb. And then the actors, right? They sound like they still have their scripts in front of them and they're just reading off their scripts. It doesn't sound like they're having an actual conversation. It doesn't sound like they actually are their characters. It sounds like they're actors reading off a freaking script. And that is not acting. That is complete and utter bullcrap. And I will not take it anymore. The hell I went through tonight was definitely not worth seeing that performance. That is the absolute worst show I've ever seen in my life. I would rather stab myself to death with a knife. I'll take this knife, right? This exact knife. I would rather stab myself to death with it then go see that play again. It is... Thank God I didn't pay money for that. I would... Oh God, I'm so... That's the sort of shit that happens with the Morris drama program. It was really bad. Thanks for listening to me rant. I just really had to get it out because I'm just so fucking pissed. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'll upload the other... Well, I'll record the other video and upload it later when my grandmother's asleep because I got some stuff to talk to you guys about. So yeah, see you later. Also, I apologize this video was so long. I had intended on keeping it, well, I had intended on making it a bit longer than it was, than they normally are, but, you know, still kind of short, but, you know, then I just started ranting, and I'm sorry, it's just a really long video. If you stuck through it till the end, I'd say I'll give you, like, you know, $10, but I don't have $10 to give you. I give you a pat on the back. Good on you. Piss off.